there is a gun license issued to one resident of Taran district in Punjab, and that license was renewed till 2017 only. After that, there has been no renewal of that license. So as on date, that license is not valid. However, we have started the process for cancellation, and that will be done immediately. And as per the coordination with the Punjab police, we will take necessary actions.
सर, जिस तरह से हमने देखा कि 2008 में 10 में जो लाइसेंस इशू हुए, सीबीआई भी उस मामले को प्रोब कर रही है. कई ऐसे लाइसेंसेस इशू हुए जो कि नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए, दोज आर थ्रेट टू द नेशनल सिक्योरिटीज. सो व्हाट इज द स्टेप्स यू आर गोइंग टू टेक इन द कमिंग डेज, बिकॉज दिस इज वन दैट हैज कम फोर्थ वाया पंजाब साइड. देयर आर मेनी मोर दैट हैव गॉट देयर लाइसेंसेस इशूड फ्रॉम योर कंसर्न डिस्ट्रिक्ट. सो व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स दैट यू आर गोइंग टू टेक इन द कमिंग डेज?
इसमें एक्चुअली जो प्रोटोकॉल है और जो नॉर्म्स हैं वो बड़े क्लियर हैं. हम लोग लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटी उन्हीं के हैं जो अभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ किश्तवाड़ के रेसिडेंट है. एनीवन हु स्टेइंग आउटसाइड, जिन्होंने कभी पहले बनवाया था, दे हैव टू शिफ्ट देयर लाइसेंस टू द करंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट वेयर दे आर रिसाइडिंग इन. सो एज ऑन डेट हम किसी भी लाइसेंस को रिन्यू नहीं कर रहे हैं उन लोगों के जो किश्तवाड़ के रेसिडेंट नहीं हैं, यहाँ के रहने वाले नहीं हैं. सो इवन इन दीज केसेस वी हैव टेकन अ स्टांस दैट देयर विल बी नो रिन्यूअल.
Well, as the country is celebrating the 75th year of India's independence, 75 women bikers of the CRPF will cover 5 states in the 1,848 kilometers ride during their journey from here at India Gate to Jagdalpur in Chhattisgarh. Now, this women's bike rally will culminate in Jagdalpur on 25th of March. Here is a special report filed by my colleague Harsha. Take a look.
In what is being called a first of its kind effort, 75 CRPF women daredevils embark on a 1,848 kilometer bike rally.
Making us proud and our country proud are these CRPF daredevils. It's so good to see them as they will be going and Jagdalpur, which is a mouse-prone area, and they have been learning bike riding from past 1 year. The youngest in this troop is of 22 years and the eldest one is of 48 years old. Age is no barrier for these women soldiers in our Indian Army and in our defense forces.
The rally began from India Gate in the national capital and will go on till Jagdalpur in the state of Chhattisgarh. 75 CRPF women daredevils will cover nearly 5 states in the course of this journey, spreading a message of women's empowerment and that Maoism is on the verge of end.
एक्चुअली मैम, जिस समय हम लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया उस समय लड़कियां बहुत कम थी सर्विस में. मुझे 30 ईयर कंप्लीट होने वाले हैं सर्विस में, तो उस समय हमारे लिए बहुत चैलेंजिंग था. लड़कियां बहुत कम होती थी, लेकिन उसके बाद फिर धीरे धीरे जब हम सर्विस में आए, सर्विस में आने के बाद फिर कुछ ऐसी मिसहैपनिंग हुई कि मेरे हस्बैंड ख़त्म हो गए उसके बाद. लेकिन मैं सिंगल पेरेंट्स होने के बावजूद मेरे ऊपर बहुत चैलेंजिंग था मेरे लिए ये सब करना, लेकिन एक पैशन था. बुलेट मेरा पैशन है, हम लोगों का सबका ही पैशन है.
The CRPF women personnel showcased a huge rifle drill.
न 2017 में जब अंबिकापुर में ट्रेनिंग दिलवा रही थी, तब मैंने उधर का माहौल देखा कि महिलाएं बिल्कुल उस तरह से फ्रीडम में नहीं था. उस तरह से उनके एक रेस्ट्रिक्शन था कि आप ये कर सकते हो, ये नहीं कर सकते हो, इधर नहीं जा सकते हो. 2017-16 में भी मैंने ये चीज़ देखा, जबकि वो आज जो चीज़ है आज बिल्कुल चेंज है. जब मैं श्रीनगर में ड्यूटी कर रही थी तभी भी मैंने देखा महिलाएं निकल के रात को 6, 7, 8 बजे तक भी ड्यूटी कर रहे हैं.
A presentation by the women pipe band and drummers were also displayed in the event.
पूरी दुनिया के आगे एक संदेश है कि भारत जब आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है तो विमेन एम्पावरमेंट से हटकर हम लोग विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं. तो जो लीडरशिप की पोजीशंस हैं उसमें महिलाएं रहें, आगे बढ़कर अपनी भागीदारी सुनिश्चित करें और वही सीआरपीएफ ने आज करके दिखाया कि जगदलपुर जैसी क्षेत्र जो कि बहुत ही कठिन क्षेत्र रहा है पूर्व में और सीआरपीएफ के जो फोर्स है उसने मिलकर वहां पर शांति स्थापित की है।
CRPF, a force with nearly 3.5 lakh personnel, is responsible for ensuring security in the Maoist-affected areas across the country as well as in terror-hit Jammu and Kashmir. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम,
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स।
बिल्कुल
जी,
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया,
उनका अभी एफर्ट ये है कि किसी भी तरीके से ईडी डाल दो, धमका दो, डरा दो, लेकिन हम भी मोदी जी से और भारतीय जनता पार्टी से और पूरे देश की जनता से बता दें कि हम डरने वालों से नहीं हैं।
Summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with Liquorgate, Kavita launching a scathing attack on the BJP. Trouble mounts for Arvind Kejriwal's deputy. The ED team continues round 2 of Sisodia's grilling at the Tihar jail. In dock for Bribegate, the BJP MLA Virupakshappa evades questions as Republic confronts him. Pulwama martyrs' widows are blocked from meeting the Rajasthan Chief Minister after a U-turn on his promises. NCP supported the BJP alliance in Nagaland, triggering a big political war. Owaisi now hitting back at Sharad Pawar. And India's cricket diplomacy on display. The Prime Minister watches the test match with his Australian counterpart. A very good evening. You're watching Republic and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Let's begin this edition of the news with this big update coming in. This is about Manish Sisodia. Remember, trouble continues to mount for him after the CBI, it's the Enforcement Directorate right now that is questioning Manish Sisodia, who's housed in the Tihar jail. And do remember, this again is a story that not just Republic has tracked, but we've also got you a lot of inside track as to what really this ongoing probe in the Delhi excise policy case with the ED will be all about. Now, earlier on Tuesday, you would recall that the ED had questioned, also recorded the statement of Manish Sisodia. The probe agency has also made a fresh arrest in the case as it has taken into custody the Hyderabad-based businessman Arun Pillai. Sisodia was arrested on the 26th of February. This is an ongoing investigation of a case related to alleged irregularities in the framing and the implementation of the excise policy. Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court later sent him to judicial custody till March the 20th, and tomorrow is when the court will hear Sisodia's bail plea. And before that, Shravan, you're getting us more details of what possibly could be more trouble brewing in for Manish Sisodia.
Well, in fact, Deepthi, there is a high possibility that the Enforcement Directorate will go ahead with the coercive action in this particular case after questioning the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. In fact, on similar lines of what the Central Bureau of Investigation had essentially found in their investigation, the Enforcement Directorate is largely focusing on the fact that whether at all, one, there was a leakage on the part of Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia of the draft excise policy. Was it given to the South lobby particularly before the excise policy was formulated or, for that matter, implemented? In fact, they've come across evidence suggesting that the draft policy was actually typed at the camp office of the former Deputy Chief Minister, and soon after that, a copy of it was actually leaked on WhatsApp to the other accused in this particular case. That is the reason why they are saying that somewhere down the line they believe that Manish Sisodia was actually aware of what was actually happening in terms of a favorable excise policy that was being drafted. They're looking at the profit margin that was deliberately changed by the group of ministers, including Manish Sisodia and others like Satendra Jain. But in all likelihood, we're expecting this development to take place sometime later in the evening. Having said that, the Aam Aadmi Party has already preempted that he's going to be placed under arrest because his bail plea is coming up for hearing tomorrow.
All right. So, Shravan, you do get us a larger sense of that story that Sisodia's arrest is imminent. Before I let you go, now how difficult in a position is in Manish Sisodia right now, Shravan, considering that the charges are mounting after the CBI, it's the ED now coming in, and with the ED it will also be the Prevention of the Money Laundering Act, where the onus is essentially going to be on Manish Sisodia to prove his innocence.
Well, the line that has been taken by Manish Sisodia and, for that matter, the Aam Aadmi Party is that where exactly is the money? They're saying, what is the scam all about? And if at all there was quid pro quo, then why is it that the Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate, through multiple searches, could not find a single penny? The rationale behind that is this. The Enforcement Directorate, during their investigation, has essentially come across the fact that there was an upfront commission that was paid, and that advance payment was roughly about 100 crore rupees that was given by the South lobby through Vijay Nair and Dinesh Arora. In fact, they say that the transaction has essentially happened through the Hawala network. That is the reason why perhaps no money was actually lying in the accounts of Manish Sisodia. In fact, the investigative agencies find this entire argument extremely laughable when they say that if a crime has been committed, you certainly do not expect someone to basically park that money in their bank account. This is money that was essentially routed through Hawala transactions. And that is how it finally landed up in the state of Goa, where the Aam Aadmi Party utilized roughly about 30 crore rupees for carrying out a survey in the state of Goa. In fact, they also suspect that the money was actually used for Punjab elections, but they say that work is under progress, and they're still looking at finding out about the money trail of the 70 crore rupees.
All right, Shravan, we trust you to keep us ahead on any breaking development. But even as we speak, remember the Enforcement Directorate is grilling Manish Sisodia in the Tihar jail. Could an arrest happen? It's anyone's guess, but Republic is going to be tracking that story and getting you every fact that comes out. But as I say, thank you to Shravan. Remember, the story has moved on from Delhi to the South. Now, because there is a mention of the South cartel here. This is about the BRS MLC and the Telangana Chief Minister's daughter K. Kavita, who has received summons from the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in the Delhi excise policy case and she has said that she's going to be holding a hunger strike in the national capital tomorrow. Now, what she's also asserted that there are going to be 18 political parties that have assured to participate in the protest. The BRS leader also said that she will face the Enforcement Directorate as she has not done anything wrong. Now look at what she says. She's played the Telangana card, now she's playing the woman card. Now she says that if a woman has to be interrogated by a central agency, then as per law, she has a quote-unquote fundamental right to be questioned at her home. She has earlier launched a no-holds-barred attack on the Modi government. We listen into what we heard from her, followed by more reactions that have come in.
देखिए, फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होते हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है. फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी बिजनेस हाउसेस है उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है. उन सबके लिए तो 7 खून माफ हो जाते हैं. अब अदानी जी ले लीजिए, बाकी बहुत लोग हैं, उन पे तो कुछ नहीं होता है. और आज तो इतना चर्चा है पूरे देश भर में कि देश में डबल इंजन सरकार चल रहा है. और ये 2 इंजन कौन है देश में? एक इंजन प्रधानी है, दूसरा इंजन अदानी है. तो ये हालत आज देश में है. तो ये बच्चा जान चुका है. जिस तरीके से मोदी जी अपने आप को क्लीन बताते थे, साफ बताते थे, वो है नहीं. और श्रीलंकन गवर्नमेंट भी यहाँ आके बोल के गया है कि अदानी जी के लिए आप मोदी जी खुद जाके बोले कि इनको प्रोजेक्ट देना है. तो इस तरीके के सब बात सामने आ रहे हैं. तो ये छुपाने के लिए आप विपक्षों पे ईडी का वार कर रहे हो. वो ठीक है, हम विपक्ष है, जेल लेंगे, हम पॉलिटिशियन हैं. लेकिन जनता पे जो महंगाई का आप वार कर रहे हो ना, वो जरूर आपको आगे इलेक्शन में रिजल्ट दिखाएगा. मोदी जी, आप काम उस पे करिए. मेरा विनंती ये है भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, प्लीज वर्क ऑन रिड्यूसिंग द प्राइसेस, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर सब्सिडीज, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर जॉब्स. व्हाट विल यू गेट आउट ऑफ टॉर्चरिंग पीपल लाइक अस? आप करिए, हम बात करेंगे, हम जरूर फेस करेंगे ईडी को. लेकिन आपके बीएल संतोष जी से भी बोलिए जरा हमारे तेलंगाना में आके सिट के सामने पेश हो जाए, आंसर करें, क्वेश्चन आंसर करें. किस बात की डर है आप? हमने गलती नहीं किया, हम तो आ रहे हैं ईडी में, हम कल भी जाएंगे. आपको जो करना है करिए, जो लीगल कोर्स है, लीगल एक्शन है, हम पूरा आपसे कोऑपरेट करेंगे.
All I'm saying is allegations by Enforcement Directorate in this country. They've already registered more than 5,422 cases. Conviction in only 23 cases. So what is happening in this country? They are using ED as a tool to harass other opposition parties. Even more strange is, even before ED sends summons, the entire local BJP will start speaking. Pampichestamu, rape someone lostai, ellundi someone lostai. So is it not a fact that ED, IT and CBI are extended arms of Narendra Modi?
ये बिल्कुल झूठ है जो केटीआर ने बोला है. मैं भी फॉलो करी उनका प्रेस मीट. वो ऐसे दिख रहे थे कि बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन में है. इतने फ्रस्ट्रेशन में हैं, ये लोग सोच रहे थे कि तेलंगाना में भारतीय जनता पार्टी मतलब बीआरएस के खिलाफ कोई पार्टी नहीं रहेगा. सब पार्टी को यहाँ ख़त्म कर देंगे. कांग्रेस को ख़त्म कर दिए तो बीजेपी को भी यहाँ तो उतना नहीं आ ही नहीं पाएगी. ये वो सोच में थे. जब बीजेपी तेलंगाना में एकदम लोगों तक नीचे तक पहुँच गई है, नरेंद्र मोदी का जो नाम हर दिल में आज है, हर गांव में हर एक आदमी आज नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बारे में बोलते हैं. जो गरीब कल्याण योजना में जो राइस हर गांव में हर गरीब को जो दे रहा है, तो फार्मर को हर इसमें आज मोदी का चरिश्मा और भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो बढ़ रही है तेलंगाना में, वो लोगों को सह नहीं पा रहे हैं. बिहार
It's time for us to head into a quick break. On the other side, in Dock for Bribegate, the BJP MLA Virupakshappa evades questions as Republic confronts him. Also, the NCP support to the BJP alliance in the state of Nagaland has triggered a huge political war. The first reaction from Owaisi is already out. We get you that and much more after this quick break.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स।
बिल्कुल
जी
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally.
So here you can see now the water cannon has been started by the Chandigarh police to control the law and order situation, and in fact just because the protesters are trying to cross the barricades, but now the police has applied the force after lathi charge. The water cannons are here to control the situation in Chandigarh just because BJP has given the call to protest against the law and order situation of Punjab and to gherao Punjab Vidhan Sabha. But now when the situation is went out of control, the police has
All right, we're getting this big breaking update right now. A story that Republic, remember, has been tracking very, very closely. The first confirmation coming in that the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, now has been arrested officially by the Enforcement Directorate. It's a huge setback and a huge problem right now that will be facing Manish Sisodia, who, remember, in all likelihood was to apply for his bail tomorrow. This is after the CBI, remember, had said that they do not need his custody anymore. But the Enforcement Directorate has been grilling Manish Sisodia for the last few hours in the Tihar jail. And at the end of which now we are learning that Manish Sisodia has been put under arrest by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, what really happens next and what really does this mean for Manish Sisodia? Shravan joining us, he has more details. Shravan, what happens next from here on?
Well, it only makes it very difficult for Manish Sisodia to now step out of Tihar jail to begin with, because remember, when the bail application comes up for hearing tomorrow, that is going to be essentially on the plea that was filed against the Central Bureau of Investigation. So even if a decision is taken, and assuming that a bail is granted, that would be in the case of the Central Bureau of Investigation. Manish Sisodia will now have to perhaps file a separate bail plea altogether as far as the recent arrest that has now been made. In fact, we can now confirm that Manish Sisodia was arrested around 6:20 in the evening. 6:20 is when he has been placed under formal arrest is what we are picking up at this point in time, and that's the big breaking news coming in first on Republic TV. In fact, what is essentially going to happen right now, Deepthi, is the fact that they're going to take custody of Manish Sisodia. He's no longer going to be in judicial custody. He will now be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. They're going to perhaps put out more details of it in the court tomorrow. Once he's produced before the court, when they're going to take further custody. In fact, what they believe is that they've essentially come across enough evidence to suggest that the excise department, which was essentially being handled by Manish Sisodia, was responsible for drafting a policy which only favored a select few players. In fact, those licensees benefited from this excise policy, who essentially had a close connection with the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. And secondly, advance payment of 100 crore rupees was already given. Advance payment of 100 crore rupees was given to the Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, there were meetings that took place of the recoupment of this particular advance payment soon after the excise policy was actually implemented. Those secret meetings actually happened in the national capital. What we are given to understand is the fact that these meetings took place in a very clandestine manner. In fact, when the draft policy was actually typed at the camp office of Manish Sisodia, immediately after that, a copy of the same was actually shared with some of those who participated in the tendering process. And more importantly, they have also come across digital evidence to the effect that certain suggestions were actually given by the South lobby to Manish Sisodia and his group, and that was basically incorporated in the draft excise policy. These are the allegations that have been leveled so far against the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, the former Deputy Chief Minister. In fact, we are now given to understand that following the arrest, the recent arrests that have been made, they've also come across further evidence, and that is the reason why we are now essentially looking at this particular case getting far more complicated for Manish Sisodia.
Now, you know, Shravan, why don't you explain to us that when does the ED go ahead and make an arrest in a case like this? Because till now, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying, where is the money trail? There has not been any kind of a recovery. But does this mean that perhaps there is more evidence that the ED has, and in the entire grilling, the 2 rounds of grilling that the Enforcement Directorate has carried on vis-a-vis Manish Sisodia, possibly there is more evidence that merits an arrest under the PMLA Act?
Well, Deepthi, if you take a look at the scheduled offences are Section 120B, which is a criminal conspiracy, and Section 7 of the Prevention of Corruption Act. Now, this is both these sections are scheduled offences, and due to which this case has been now taken by the Enforcement Directorate. Because unless you have a predicate offence, the PMLA Act does not come into the picture. Now, with both these sections being invoked by the Central Bureau of Investigation.
All right, what we'll do is we'll quickly head into a break right now. But on the other side, we keep our focus on that big story. More trouble brewing in for Manish Sisodia after the CBI, it's the Enforcement Directorate, ladies and gentlemen, that has put him under arrest. What really does that mean? More details on the other side of this very quick break.
आप इंडिया आते हैं and then you start special forces, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the nine of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग, सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the nine of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग, सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी, अच्छा, टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम,
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स।
बिल्कुल जी। आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
Kavita summoned in liquor gate. Kavita says BJP pursuing vendetta politics. Can BJP take the higher moral ground? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. About 20 minutes back, Republic TV broke the news of the arrest of Manish Sisodia. It comes a day before a court will hear his bail petition. So after the CBI, he's been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, which is also investigating the liquor scam in Delhi. Here are the headlines. After the CBI, Enforcement Directorate has arrested Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia. Once again, Republic getting the news first, at least 10 minutes before all other channels on the arrest of Manish Sisodia. Liquorgate storm. K. Kavita will also be at the Enforcement Directorate on Saturday. His sister is called by the ED for questioning. KTR attacks ED, calls it Modi summons to K. Kavita. BJP MLA Virupakshappa is at the Lokayukta in Karnataka over the bribe gate controversy over the wards of cash. His questioning continues.
Also on tape today, BJP MP from Kolar, Muniswamy, seen shouting at a woman over bindi. Moral policing on camera. Cricket diplomacy on display as Prime Minister Modi and his Australian counterpart Albanese show up at the fourth test as India-Australia face off at the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And the biggest story this evening, the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia. Until recently, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, was arrested last weekend by the CBI being investigated in the liquor scam. It's one story that's having big impact from Delhi to Hyderabad, where K. Kavita took a flight last evening to reach the national capital. Ahead of a summons on Saturday, she will be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate on the money trail in liquor scam. The Enforcement Directorate has arrested Manish Sisodia. He was earlier arrested by the CBI, now arrested by the Enforcement Directorate as well. So this could be a big setback to him ahead of his bail hearing on Friday. Manish Sisodia continues to get the backing, the support of his party, the Aam Aadmi Party, and Arvind Kejriwal, who claim that agencies have been unleashed on both the Aam Aadmi Party and BRS in this case, as K. Kavita has also been summoned. As far as the agencies go, they claim that there is money trail, there are details available of a cartel that operated and almost drafted the excise policy. That's a tweet, meanwhile, of Arvind Kejriwal. He's just tweeted saying that Manish was first arrested by the CBI. CBI did not find any evidence. No money was found in the raid. There is a bail hearing tomorrow. Manish Sisodia would have been released tomorrow. So today, ED arrested him. They have only one aim: to keep Manish inside at all costs by creating new fake cases every day. That's Arvind Kejriwal's tweet. If you just scroll down, just pan the camera a little bit. The last sentence he says that fake cases are being filed every day and that the public is watching and that the public will answer. That's Arvind Kejriwal's tweet. And this arrest comes a day before the bail petition of Manish Sisodia would have been heard in the courts in the national capital. So after CBI, he's been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. We've been tracking the story very, very closely. Let me also go across to Shravan Sen, my colleague, who will be joining us on the phone line. Shravan Sen broke the story at least 10 to 15 minutes before any other channel even had a clue that Manish Sisodia had been arrested. The official time of arrest, we are told, is about 6:20. 6:20. Republic TV broke the story a little after 6:35. And we have the details of why the Enforcement Directorate also is looking at this story very closely. There is a money angle involved. There are transactions. And the remand copy of the ED, the Enforcement Directorate, claim that that at least 100 crore could have changed hands in this particular case. And that's one of the reasons why they've also called in K. Kavita for an angle that they're looking at, which is called the South Group. The angle is a South Group angle, and they claim that there was a group from the south of India, from mostly Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. There is a YSRCP link and a BRS link that the ED claims to this entire liquor scam. So yesterday we showed you what the South Group was all about. We will put out that flow chart on your screen right now of what the ED is investigating specifically in the case of the BRS and the YSRCP. In the case of BRS, K. Kavita has been summoned to the national capital, and she will be questioned on Saturday. She spoke to the media today. Her brother KT Ramarao also held a news conference in Hyderabad while attacking the agencies and claiming it was not a summons by the ED but a summons by Modi. Now it's become political and it's getting very, very ugly. That's where the story stands this evening. We'll also play out what K. Kavita said, what KTR said because this is a story that is cutting across different parties, from the Aam Aadmi Party to the YSRCP to the BRS. We'll try and get you voices live from all sides. KTR spoke to the media. Kavita spoke to the media. We have their sound bites. We'll just play out their sound bites in just a few seconds from now. Harish Khurana, meanwhile, let's get in the first response from BJP and then go across and tell you what's been happening through the day. Harish Khurana is joining us on the phone line. Harish Khurana of the BJP. Harish Khurana, your party is being accused of staging this entire issue, claiming that agencies are being unleashed on the opposition. Arvind Kejriwal has just tweeted saying that you needed an excuse to have him in custody and that's why he's been arrested by the ED.
See, Aam Aadmi Party is in a habit of giving a certificate of honesty to himself. They're very much in a hurry of giving the certificate. We have seen that at the time of the Satinder Jain arrest. You remember they were saying we are honest people, we are Kattar Imandar, but Centre is playing a role because the Himachal elections are coming in. What has happened? Since 9 months, Satinder Jain is in jail on the order of the court, not by the CBI or the ED. The same thing which has happened in the Vijayanagara case also. The same thing has happened in the Manish Sisodia case in the CBI court also. That they have not given the bail yet. Please, we will take it tomorrow. But the thing is, it's a serious matter. You remember, few days back only, they were saying the ED has given a clean sheet to us. Kuch nahi mila ji. CBI has given a kuch nahi mila ji. They given a certificate of honesty to the benefit. Now, when the 100 crore rupees allegation has come out and the money laundering has come out, it's a serious allegation. And now, Arvind Kejriwal, we all know that because of the Arvind Kejriwal only, this government is running, and without no decision has been taken, without the prior information by the approval by the Arvind Kejriwal. So what we feel, this investigation will go on to Arvind Kejriwal.
But Mr. Khurana, a lot of people also asking, while we talk about this case and you know the agencies must do their job, they certainly should. But there is certainly a contrast that is also throwing up. See, I'll tell you why. There is a contrast here to what is happening in Karnataka, where a BJP MLA is facing very serious charges. There was cash found at his house, at his residence, and despite that, he was allowed to go absconding for nearly 3 to 4 days. You see, and he's back at the Lokayukta today, and people are asking why the agencies are not investigating him. So what would be your party's response to that?
There are two things. Who has arrested? The Karnataka government, who is in power, BJP in power, and if he got the bail, by whom? By the court, not by any of the agency, by the BJP only. So I think we should respect what the court is saying. We should respect what the law will take their own course. The same thing will happen in this case also. If Manish Sisodia has done nothing wrong, why he has been arrested? Because of some primary charges why he has been arrested, and Satinder Jain is not getting the bail, and court is also saying that there is a lot of things, corruption has happened in that case also. So my thing is, we should believe in what the court says, and what the law will take their own course. Let them do it now. Why are we making the vendetta issues, vendetta politics going on? No, I don't think so. They should face the law. They should come up with what the proof they have it. Let the court law decide.
Okay, let's see where the story goes. Harish Khurana, thank you for speaking to Republic TV. The first response coming in from the BJP to the arrest of Manish Sisodia. Let's listen in to what K. Kavita said. It's going to be a fiery next 2-3 days. K. Kavita has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate on Saturday. Here's what she said and what her brother has been saying in Hyderabad. The story is developing. Multiple parties, multiple people under investigation. Shravan is also joining us on the phone line. Okay, before I go across to Shravan, let's listen into what the others who are under scanner have been saying in this case.
फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होते हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है। फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी बिजनेस हाउसेस है उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है। उन सबके लिए तो साल खून माफ हो जाते हैं। अब अदानी जी ले लीजिए, बाकी बहुत लोग हैं, उन पे तो कुछ नहीं होता है। और आज तो इतना चर्चा है पूरे देश भर में कि देश में डबल इंजन सरकार चल रहा है। और ये 2 इंजन कौन है देश में? एक इंजन प्रधानी है, दूसरा इंजन अदानी है। तो ये हालत आज देश में है। तो ये बच्चा जान चुका है। जिस तरीके से मोदी जी अपने आप को क्लीन बताते थे, साफ बताते थे, वो है नहीं। और श्रीलंकन गवर्नमेंट भी यहाँ आके बोल के गया है कि अदानी जी के लिए आप मोदी जी खुद जाके बोले कि इनको प्रोजेक्ट देना है। तो इस तरीके के सब बात सामने आ रहे हैं। तो ये छुपाने के लिए आप विपक्षों पे ईडी का वार कर रहे हो, वो ठीक है, हम विपक्ष है, झेल लेंगे, हम पॉलिटिशियन हैं, लेकिन जनता पे जो महंगाई का आप वार कर रहे हो ना, वो जरूर आपको आगे इलेक्शन में रिजल्ट दिखाएगा। मोदी जी, आप काम उस पे करिए। मेरा विनंती ये है भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, प्लीज वर्क ऑन रिड्यूसिंग द प्राइसेस, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर सब्सिडीज, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर जॉब्स। व्हाट विल यू गेट आउट ऑफ टॉर्चरिंग पीपल लाइक अस? आप करिए, हम बात करेंगे, हम जरूर फेस करेंगे ईडी को, लेकिन आपके बीएल संतोष जी से भी बोलिए जरा हमारे तेलंगाना में आके सिट के सामने पेश हो जाए, आंसर करें, क्वेश्चन आंसर करें। किस बात की डर है आप? हमने गलती नहीं किया, हम तो आ रहे हैं ईडी में, हम कल भी जाएंगे, आपको जो करना है करिए, जो लीगल कोर्स है, लीगल एक्शन है, हम पूरा आपसे कोऑपरेट करेंगे।
All I'm saying is, allegations by enforcement directorate in this country, they've already registered more than 5,422 cases. Conviction in only 23 cases. So what is happening in this country? They are using ED as a tool to harass other.
Okay, let me go across to RP Singh of the BJP joining us on the phone line, get one reaction, and then I'm going across to Shravan as well. Shravan and Abhishek also joining us, and then we go across to another big story coming in from Karnataka. Okay, RP Singh, Kejriwal says he's been arrested to ensure that he stays in custody. I think we lost the line with RP Singh there. So Abhishek, okay, RP Singh is there. Quick question, RP Singh, how do you respond to what Arvind Kejriwal has been saying and the BJP?
Mr. Kejriwal had 6 months since the investigation started on Mr. Sisodia. He could have gone to court and got the matter quashed. He could have got the affair quashed. Then last 4 weeks, Vijay Nair, the kingpin, was allocated the ministerial bungalow. Kailash Garod's bungalow was in custody. No one went to court to get his affair quashed. Fact is, money was routed from the South Lobby to Vijay Nair and from there to Goa. You remember the Aam Aadmi Party workers were caught red-handed in Goa distributing money. And when they were asked, investigated, they said we received the money from Delhi. So this whole of this network need to be taken care, and then ED and CBI put together will do the needful.
Yeah, but you know, RP Singh, there are many questions also that remain. I'm just coming back to, because Shravan has some breaking news updates with us. Shravan, what are you picking up? Why has the Enforcement Directorate now arrested him?
Well, it was certainly on the expected lines. There is nothing very surprising about the coercive action that has been taken by the Enforcement Directorate, especially given the fact that they believe that they've come across hard evidence as far as money laundering is concerned. They've been indicating the fact that there has been a destruction of evidence on the part of the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. They also say that there was a deliberate attempt that was essentially made to leak the draft policy, and the fact that they have incorporated the suggestions that were essentially made by the South Lobby. In fact, what they find it extremely surprising is the very fact that the draft policy was actually typed at the camp office of the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, when it should have been at the Excise Department office.
Shravan, leaving it at that only because I have to take a short break. Leaving it at that, quick question from Abhishek. Abhishek is joining us. Abhishek, just wanted your analysis also, because, you know, there are two stories right now we're focusing on. One is Liquorgate, where, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying there's no cash found, there's nothing found, right? Visually, you're trying to go after Manish Sisodia. The BRS claims that K. Kavita is being hounded. The ED talks about the South Group and 100 crore kickbacks. They claim that they found the trail. Now contrast that to the story in Karnataka, where a Karnataka BJP MLA's son caught red-handed, reportedly by the Lokayukta. Lokayukta has gone on record to say 8 crore in cash. The cash can be seen, the money is there, and yet there is an attempt perhaps to shield him, right? Because for 4 days he was nowhere to be seen, right? There are gaps in this perception battle, Abhishek.
Niranjan, obviously the BJP has to respond and take ownership of what's happening in Karnataka. The fact of the matter is that the conduct of their MLA and the district, their leadership in the
constituency where this has happened of the MLA. It's really not something which the party would be proud of. And obviously to that extent, you had that statement from the party chief Katil that they are embarrassed with the conduct and action would be taken, hopefully very soon. Having said that, insofar as the Liquorgate scam is concerned, see, it's nobody's case, including that of ED and CBI, that they were going after Manish Sisodia because they thought that the money would be found from his residence. As much as money has not been found, so also the mobile phones which were used and the SIM cards that were used and frequently changed. So it's about actually a manner in which political financing has been used through changes in this liquor policy, and that's something which is being investigated. So it's not the case that money should have been found on Manish Sisodia, but the fact that he facilitated certain changes in the policy which helped the cartel from the south, and they in turn gave kickbacks, and that's something which is being investigated now.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek. I'm taking a break now, but when we come back, the story from Karnataka we have to talk about. There's another story, not the Bribegate story, but another story where a BJP MP is seen shouting down on a woman trader. We were starting the show with that when the news broke of Manish Sisodia's arrest. But we'll take a short break and we'll come back and tell you what happened. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years. With top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक
On the biggest story tonight, back with the sequence of a BJP MP from Karnataka. His name is Muniswamy, a Kolar MP, Kolar district in Karnataka. Here's what happened, and then we have two panelists with us. But first up, take a look at what happened this morning.
ಗಂಡ ಬದುಕಿದಂತಾನೆ ಎಂತೌತ ಅಂತ ಈಗ
Smriti Haritz, spokesperson of the BJP Karnataka, and Brinda Adige joining us. Was a little taken aback after looking at that video. Smriti, would you back what he just did?
See, I think personal statements and personal views are very different from views that are endorsed by a party. I would firstly like to put on record saying that the party does not endorse the views of this particular MLA that has spoken up. And I'm sure that whatever disciplinary action that needs to be taken will be taken against him. But moreover, I think one needs to realize that a bindi is the most beautiful accessory that a woman can wear. Whether she wants to sport that or not is completely her choice. But I don't think we need to get offended by a remark like this.
No, but who is he?
There have been countless examples, of politicians across, party lines who've made several derogatory remarks.
No, I agree with you, Smriti. Smriti, here on Republic we've questioned. Smriti, trust me. No, I'm telling you something. No, hear me out. Here on Republic,
a woman who has shaked hips on television is is behaving like a psychologist. So we've had time and again.
No, 1 minute.
Male politicians who have said
Smriti, I thought,
about women.
Smriti,
so this is not a party thing.
Smriti, I'll tell you. Okay, I'm happy that you said that it's his, it's one isolated comment, it's, he was wrong, etc. and you won't defend it. But I'm really disappointed that you're trying to put qualifiers to it. Brinda Adige, he's an MP. He's an MP. Imagine this happened with any other party.
Absolutely right. This man is an MP, an elected representative of the citizens of this state. What audacity, incorrigible audacity that he dares to question that woman. Wear a bindi. You have named the shop Vaishnavi. Go, is your husband alive or not? Who the hell is he? How dare he humiliate her? With all your platitudes for bindi, that is fine. But that choice to wear the bindi or not ultimately rests only with that woman. No elected representative, no leader, no anybody has the right to question that woman. That MP of yours must apologize. And you must condone from your party side. Don't say personal this and personal that. He didn't go there saying, I have removed my personal MP badge and I have come here only as Muniswamy. He went there as MP Muniswamy of BJP.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a parliamentarian. In fact, I would like to see, and we will see whether the leaders from the BJP actually come out and distance from this, because I'm hearing that this didn't happen today but happened yesterday. I'll go back and check that. But if it did, it's even worse. On Women's Day, if this has happened, right? Perception-wise, I think you will have to do much more. Let's leave it at that for now. Smriti and Brinda, sorry I had to come to you really late, taking a short break now. And for now, thanking both of you. Thank you very much.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years. With top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल. आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट. कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीईओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
to train his regiment, and he asked me कि आप इनको knife to knife combat में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, as long as our soldiers are safe, they get the best, I have no problem.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आप इंडिया आते हैं and then you start special forces, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive right into the top stories this hour on Superfast 50. Manish Sisodia has been arrested again, this time by the Enforcement Directorate after hours of questioning today in the Delhi liquor policy scam case. Hitting out at the Aam Aadmi Party over its claims of Sisodia being lodged with dreaded criminals, the BJP said that Sisodia knows the truth of Arvind Kejriwal and hence Kejriwal is actually targeting Sisodia. Manish Sisodia added that full security should be given to Sisodia.
दिल्ली में जेल का मंत्री भी होता है. सत्येंद्र जैन अभी 7-8 दिन पहले ही इस्तीफा दिए हैं. तो जो भी नया बना होगा, जिसके पास जेल मंत्रालय गया होगा, वो भी तो उनका ही है. ये विषय उनका है. और अगर इसको इस प्रकार से ये पोर्ट्रेट करना चाहते हैं तो ही मुझे इसमें साजिश की बू नजर आती है.
The BJP held protests against the AAP government in Punjab today regarding the law and order situation in the state. Republic on Thursday confronted Bharatiya Janata Party MLA Madal Virupakshappa, who is the main accused in the KSDL contract or bribegate scam. When asked where he was after a bribegate broke out, the BJP leader kept silent. Widows of the Pulwama martyrs had to beg and plead to meet Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. It's been 11 days and they have thus far not been granted an audience. The widows of the Pulwama martyrs sought a written assurance from the Rajasthan government that their demands would be met. Reacting to this, Ashok Gehlot, the Chief Minister, took to Twitter to ask if it would be appropriate to give jobs to other relatives of the martyred Jawans instead of their children. Summoned by the Enforcement Directorate, Telangana Chief Minister KCR's daughter Kavita launched a scathing attack on the Modi government. As she said, it's the nature of the probe agencies to make sure that the ED reaches before Modi wherever there is an election. IMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi slammed the Nationalist Congress Party after its Northeast in charge Narendra Verma said that the party has pledged its support to the nephew Rio government in the alliance with BJP. The Jammu and Kashmir police detained protesters who carried out protests against the government's decision to engage a blacklisted company to conduct recruitment exams for government jobs. S. Muniswamy, a BJP MP from Karnataka's Kolar district, triggered a fresh controversy with his remarks during an event on Women's Day yesterday. On Women's Day, he scolded a woman in a shop about wearing a bindi on her forehead. Two new ministers have been inducted into the Delhi cabinet on Thursday. AAP MLA Saurabh Bharadwaj and Atishi have been sworn in as ministers by Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh spoke to his Australian counterpart Richard Marles, during which both leaders reaffirmed their commitment of the two sides strengthening their bilateral defence ties. President Draupadi Murmu paid obeisance at the Golden Temple on Thursday. Tight security arrangements were made in the city for the president's day-long visit to Amritsar. The Indian Army on March the 9th installed a 100-foot-tall national flag in the hilly Doda district of Jammu and Kashmir, with a senior officer terming the endeavour a befitting tribute to the countless soldiers who have laid down their lives for the nation. Two commandos of the CRPF's elite jungle warfare unit Cobra sustained minor injuries in an encounter between security personnel and Maoists in Chhattisgarh's Sukma district. Congress MLAs led by Pratap Singh Bajwa walked out of the Punjab Assembly over demands for justice raised by the parents of late Punjabi singer Sidhu Moosewala. Swapna Suresh, the prime accused in the 2020 Kerala gold smuggling case, in a fresh salvo, Chief Minister Vijayan said that she was offered 30 crore in exchange for keeping his name out of the case. 5 men were arrested from the Nagaland and Morigaon districts of Assam for allegedly supplying SIM cards to Pakistani agents, a police spokesperson has said. Ahead of the G20 summit in Punjab, Seeks for Justice, a secessionist pro-Khalistan organization, brandished Khalistani posters at the Guru Nanak Dev University in Amritsar. Leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, Ajit Pawar, alleged that a scam of 500 crore rupees had taken place in the state's Information and Publicity Department during the tenure of government led by Devendra Fadnavis, who is now the Deputy Chief Minister. Ahead of the assembly polls in Karnataka, voters burnt saris that were allegedly distributed by BJP MLA C.T. Ravi as gifts. Rejecting these freebies, the voters complained that the real key issues are not addressed by the politicians. A suspected spy pigeon fitted with a tiny camera and a chip was caught in a fishing boat off the Paradip coast in Odisha. Ahead of the Karnataka elections, B.S. Yediyurappa has been tasked with keeping the BJP unit in the state together, we are told. Yediyurappa said that he will talk to the rebels after he is back in Bengaluru. 2 people were killed and 8 people, including children, were injured after a speeding jeep allegedly crushed many people in New Delhi's Malai Mandir area. A massive fire broke out in a godown of a tent house in Madhya Pradesh's Burhanpur. Tent materials worth lakhs of rupees were destroyed due to the blaze. A day after a group of drunk men who came to admit a patient in a hospital in Damo attacked a ward boy and a security guard, massive chaos broke out at the hospital, demanding a probe and action in the matter. The hospital staff and doctors sat on a dharna at the main gate of the district hospital. A day after an Air India Express cabin crew member was caught for allegedly smuggling gold, the airline issued a statement confirming the arrest and said that stern action will be taken against the staff. BJP National President JP Nadda reached Bengaluru to take part in a roadshow and a public meeting as part of the party's Vijaya Sankalp Yatra ahead of the Karnataka elections. MOSMEA Meenakshi Lekhi flagged off a 1848-kilometer women's bike rally from India Gate to Jagdalpur in Chhattisgarh earlier today. Comedian actor Satish Kaushik passed away at the age of 66 following a heart attack earlier this morning in Delhi. Rescuers recovered more bodies buried under tons of mud from a landslide that hit a hilly village on Indonesia's remote Natuna Islands, bringing the death toll to 21 so far. Russia unleashed a massive rocket attack that hit critical infrastructure and residential buildings in 10 regions of Ukraine, the country's president said, with officials reporting that at least 6 deaths took place in this attack. Local residents in the Ukrainian capital Kiev were assessing the damage to their properties and vehicles on Thursday after a barrage of missiles targeted energy infrastructure across their country. Israeli protesters intensified their opposition to a contentious government proposal to overhaul the judiciary with plans to block Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's route to the airport ahead of an official trip overseas and even as the US Defense Secretary visited. Nepal's parliament held elections for a new president as the Himalayan nation faces increasing political instability with a fragile coalition government in power. Now, Ramchandra Podal has won the election and will become the president of Nepal. China's leader Xi Jinping has called for the armed forces to quickly elevate to world-class standards in a speech days after he warned that the country was threatened by a US-led campaign of containment, encirclement and suppression of China. 3 LAPD police officers were shot on Wednesday evening while a suspect remained barricaded in a neighborhood east of Los Angeles, the police said. Officers had gone to the Lincoln Heights, which is an old neighborhood, at around 4:30 p.m. and around 2 hours later the shooting began. The US intelligence community has said that under the leadership of PM Modi, India is more likely than in the past to respond with military force to perceived or real Pakistani provocations, also adding that it apprehends increased tension between India and Pakistan and India and China with the possibility of a conflict. Pakistan's Finance Minister Ishaq Dar has said that his country was very close to signing a staff-level agreement with the IMF which would offer a critical lifeline for taming the balance of payment crisis Pak faces. The Prime Ministers of India and Australia, Narendra Modi and Anthony Albanese, on Thursday lent a touch of cricket diplomacy to their ties as they inaugurated a test match between the two sides, the 4th test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Ahmedabad. It is day 1 of the pivotal India vs Australia 4th test, and with their team 4 wickets down, Usman Khawaja and Cameron Green are currently batting for Australia with 255 runs on the board. Veteran batter Angelo Matthews overtook former skipper Sanath Jayasuriya and became just the 3rd Sri Lankan player to have scored 7,000 test runs as the island nation made a good start to the first test against New Zealand in Christchurch. Mohammad Shami made a raging comeback after a wavered first spell on day one of India vs Australia's fourth test. He packed off Marcus Labuschagne for 3 in Ahmedabad. Head coach Christophe Galtier called the performance of his PSG side weak as they were knocked out of the Champions League at the round of 16 by Bayern Munich. Amid his controversies, Prithvi Shaw has now posted a cryptic Instagram story in which he seemingly takes a dig at people using him for benefits. Read about it on Republic World. Wasim Jafar launched a warning to the team to deliver the goods after receiving a wake-up call, he said, in the indoor test against Australia. Australian opener Beth Mooney will miss the remainder of the Women's Premier League due to a calf injury that will require up to 6 weeks to recover from. Julian Nagelsmann says his tactics helped freeze Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe out of the game as Bayern Munich knocked out PSG from the Champions League. Speaking about Messi and Ronaldo, Thomas Muller said, against Messi things always go well at all levels in terms of results. At club level, Cristiano Ronaldo was our problem when he was at Real Madrid. So that's Thomas Muller talking about Messi and Ronaldo. White House press secretary issued a response to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' plea to allow Novak Djokovic to compete at the Miami Masters after the Serb tennis star withdrew from Indian Wells over his vaccine issues.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आप इंडिया आते हैं and then you start special forces, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल.
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट. कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम,
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स।
बिल्कुल जी। आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6 AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ahead of a G20 event in Amritsar, pro-Khalistan posters were seen outside the event venue. The SFJ, the pro-Khalistani separatist group which is banned, claimed responsibility for putting up these Khalistan posters at the Guru Nanak Dev University. Take a look at this report.
Ahead of G20 summit in Amritsar, pro-Khalistani posters has been put out outside the venue where the G20 summit will take place on 15th of March. And in fact, this time Seek for Justice organization has claimed the responsibility to putting out the posters. In fact, pro-Khalistani posters outside the venue where the G20 summit will take place. It is Guru Nanak Dev University where these posters have been put out and mentioning pro-Khalistani slogans. And in fact, they have also mentioned that Punjab is not India and welcome G20 leaders to Khalistan. And this is the kind of posters ahead of G20 meeting has been put out outside the Guru Nanak Dev University in Amritsar, which is the venue of G20 summit. And now the police is probing the matter that who all are involved for putting out these posters. But on the back end, Seek for Justice and Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, General Counsel of Seek for Justice, had taken the responsibility and even giving the message to initiate the Rail Roko Andolan on 15th and 16th of March when the G20 summit will take place in Amritsar.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग, सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करना?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड।
Enforcement Directorate is carrying out raids at multiple locations in the Kashmir Valley. The raids are in connection with the MBBS seat allocation racket that was being run on the behest of Pakistan by the Hurriyat Netas in the Kashmir Valley. Sources told Republic that at least 8 to 9 locations in central as well as in the South Kashmir are being raided, and they are mostly linked to the Hurriyat Netas who were part of this Pakistani module to provide the MBBS seats to the youth of Kashmiri, especially those who were the relatives of the killed terrorists by the security forces, and they grabbed a huge amount of money from these on the garb of getting admissions in the Pakistani MBBS colleges, and then this money was used to fuel separatism as well as the terror activities in the Kashmir Valley. This entire case was unearthed by the Jammu and Kashmir police, and now Enforcement Directorate has been looped in for the investigation. With Sir Jeevan Kumar, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग, सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करना?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, as long as our soldiers are safe, they get the best, I have no problem.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल.
Burning question powered by Cool Fans.
Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia is arrested by the Enforcement Directorate after the CBI just a day before his bail petition was to be heard.
एफर्ट ये है कि किसी भी तरीके से ईडी डाल दो, धमका दो, डरा दो, लेकिन हम भी मोदी जी से और भारतीय जनता पार्टी से और पूरे देश की जनता से बता दें कि हम डरने वालों से नहीं हैं.
BRS leader K. Kavita will be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in Liquorgate this Saturday. Claims her father is the real target. BJP bribe-gate MLA is brazen. He's silent on his whereabouts even as his son is arrested over kickbacks. Another big controversy from the state of Karnataka as a BJP MP is seen moral policing. He's asking women traders to wear a bindi. These are shameful images unfolding in the state of Rajasthan as wives of the Pulwama martyrs are forced to plead for honor. And the Prime Minister and the Australian counterpart engage in cricket diplomacy, kick off the 4th test in Ahmedabad. A very good evening. The show is called The Burning Question and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. For the last few months, you have seen the agencies like the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate talking of the Liquorgate scam. They've been trying to connect the dots, they've been trying to pick up the money trail, and they believe that they have watertight cases. Now, you've seen the arrest of Manish Sisodia by the Central Bureau of Investigation. About an hour earlier, Manish Sisodia now has officially been arrested also by the Enforcement Directorate. What this means is that trouble will continue to mount for him. The same party that was saying it is Kattar Imandar has that party now turned Kattar by Iman. The BJP says yes. The BJP says we told you so. But ladies and gentlemen, the story is not just limited to Manish Sisodia anymore. The story has traveled from north to south, and that is where you have another Neta right now in some big trouble. She is K. Kavita, the daughter of the sitting Chief Minister of the state of Telangana. This is KCR. She's an MLC. She's in the national capital. She asked for another date because she's been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate this Saturday. And when she appears before the Enforcement Directorate, what will happen? But why is it today that all the opposition says is that we are being targeted? What is the real story behind this scam? And is corruption again going to be that #1 headline this election season? First up, the entire story and then the debate.
The Liquorgate probe is getting bigger. After the Aam Aadmi Party, now BRS is facing the heat. Summoned by the Enforcement Directorate, K. Kavita said,
तो मेरा मोदी जी से बीजेपी से एक ही विनती है कि आप जनता के पास जाइए. आपने किस तरीके का डेवलपमेंट किया है, तेलंगाना के लिए आपने क्या किया है, देश के लिए आपने क्या किया है, वो बताइए. उनका दिल जीतिए, बाद में इलेक्शन जीतिए. लेकिन हम इलेक्शन हारेंगे या जीतेंगे, एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट यूज़ करेंगे, बैकडोर से गवर्नमेंट में आएंगे. इस तरीके का तो हमने देख लिया है, 9 राज्यों में चला है और तेलंगाना में वो चल नहीं पाया.
BRS leveled the political vendetta charge.
फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होते हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है. फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी बिजनेस हाउसेस हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है. उन सब के लिए तो 7 खून माफ़ हो जाते हैं. अब अदानी जी ले लीजिए, बाकी बहुत लोग हैं, उन पे तो कुछ नहीं होता है. और आज तो इतना चर्चा है पूरे देश भर में कि देश में डबल इंजन सरकार चल रहा है. और ये 2 इंजन कौन है देश में? एक इंजन प्रधानी है, दूसरा इंजन अदानी है. तो ये हालत आज देश में है.
The BJP claims there is no smoke without fire.
पेपर में जो आया, इंक्वायरी के रिपोर्ट जो पढ़े, सब में बाहर आया, तो उसमें तो कविता का नाम आया है. तो उसी हिस्से में सब एक के बारे में कविता को भी अभी नोटिस मिला होगा. वॉट एवर इट इज़, वहाँ पे ना जो भी उनको बोलना है, कहना है, वहाँ ईडी के सामने कह सकती है. मगर वो भारतीय जनता मोदी का समन है. हाउ कैन शी आर ही KTR या कविता, ये कैसे कह सकते हैं?
In another setback to AAP, Manish Sisodia has been arrested by the ED. It's a political storm over Liquorgate. Is there a misuse of agencies? That's the burning question tonight. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And ladies and gentlemen, right now, before I begin my debate, I'll quickly introduce our panel of guests, and then there is some interesting information that I would want to share with all of them. Sharad Pawar-led is the national spokesperson of the BJP. I do see Sujata Pandey, who is also a political analyst, along with Dr. Ihsan Trivedi, political analyst. He leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party, and also Khalikur Rahman, senior leader of the BRS. Good evening to all of you, Sujata and all gentlemen. Manish Sisodia has just written a letter from the jail, and he's talking about the Shiksha Niti. Talk of the Liquorgate, Ihsan Trivedi. It's travelled now from the jail. He's speaking about saying कि सत्ता के खिलाफ उठने वाली हर आवाज़ को जेल भेजकर या जेल भेजने की धमकी देकर सत्ता चलाना देश के हर एक बच्चे के लिए शानदार स्कूल कॉलेज खोलने और चलाने से कहीं ज़्यादा आसान है. So we know what the Aam Aadmi Party essentially will do, and a lot of these details we'll just share, and you're seeing that letter right now on our screens, handwritten. Manish Sisodia saying that this is the politics of arrest. He's also trying to obviously play the victim card. He says this is a Rajniti being done to crush the good work that the Aam Aadmi Party has done. He's also making a mention of how the Aam Aadmi Party for the last many years in the national capital has done some good amount of work for education and for health. He says आज जरूर जेल की राजनीति सफल होती दिख रही है, लेकिन भारत का भविष्य स्कूल की राजनीति में ही है, शिक्षा की राजनीति में है. भारत विश्व गुरु बनेगा तो इसलिए नहीं कि यहाँ के जेलों में कितनी ताकत है शहजाद, ही सेज, बल्कि इसके दम पर कि यहाँ की शिक्षा में कितनी ताकत है. भारत की आज की राजनीति में जेल की राजनीति का पलड़ा भारी जरूर है. लेकिन आने वाला समय शिक्षा की राजनीति का होगा. I want to take my first question to Dr. Ihsan Trivedi. I wanted to go to Khaliqur Rahman, but this is an interesting development and I think I must get in Dr. Trivedi on this. Dr. Trivedi, is this the only answer? Play victim. Play victim, say we are being targeted. Why isn't Manish Sisodia responding to the very, very specific charges that have been made by the CBI and the ED so far?
See, basically things are the way it is going. I mean, Manish Sisodia was already in the jail, and most probably that CBI, because CBI has no point, I mean, to keep him in the custody for long. I mean, he was supposed to get bail tomorrow because of the strong, I mean, like lack of evidences and lack of the strong ground from the CBI. I mean, everybody can say that okay, he was about to be released tomorrow, but again now, I mean, to keep him in the jail, I mean, they just tried very hard that now they brought ED into the picture. And my only concern is my only question to Shehzad Poonawalla sir, that I mean, so you are so hard against Manish Sisodia and Aam Aadmi Party and all the opposition part. My only thing is that where is what have you done for the Yediyurappa? What have you done for the Reddy brothers for Bellary? What have you done for Hemant Biswa Sharma ji? What have you done for the Shivraj Singh Chauhan sir? What have you done for the Ramesh Pokhriyal ji? What have you done for the Narayan Rane ji? I mean, like, these are the few names. I mean, like, whoever goes into the BJP and who is Holy River, they put a dubki on that particular segment, and suddenly they become so pavitra that now there is no case against them running. And the person who has done the revolution part of the education of particular Delhiites, and of course, they have brought the India name, you know, on a very good that educational hub and educational center. And now you are just trying to put, I mean, like, oh no, he's not being surrendered to BJP. Now put him into the jail. This is how BJP conspiracy is working, and probably right now, of course, he is in the jail, but mostly rightly that Manish Sisodia sir said by the letter that the India will grow, India will keep growing.
But you know, Dr. Trivedi, this is something we've heard ad nauseum. I will allow Shehzad to counter those questions still. But the point is, why is the Aam Aadmi Party not talking of these specific charges that have been leveled? Why are you people ducking the elephant in the room? Or you really do not have an answer? आप तो बोलते थे आप लोग कट्टर ईमानदार हैं. अब तो भाजपा कहती है आप तो कट्टर बेईमान पार्टी है.
But yes, but where are the charges?
This was
I mean, they have just put on accusation, allegation, conspiracy, and some.
If this is gone,
some guy
if this
was
is the
sitting in the room and just he said that these were people available, and on that ground only.
Has Satyendra Jain or Manish Sisodia got any relief from the courts?
Found some glitch or some part in the flow. They just found a glitch in the flow,
what do you
and
mean
on
a
that
glitch
basis
or a part
only
in
they
the
are
flow?
just trying hard to keep Manish Sisodia into the jail. Because I mean, whatever have been done,
No,
I
but
mean, it
there
has
is a
been
court,
through
sir.
all
There is a
this
court.
particular.
Manish Sisodia
earlier
has approached the court. Satyendra Jain has approached
monitorium.
the court multiple times. There is no relief from the court, sir.
If I may come in.
This is like whatever the situation is,
If
BJP is trying their all enforcement and everything. Yeah.
See,
let me come
obviously
in.
he does not want to answer
no,
that.
let me come in.
Shehzad, but one second. Let's also get the BRS because I'm sure.
Can I just
I was
first,
about
please,
to say, but
if I could get an opening statement in? I'll take only 1 minute.
Somebody
let me please come in.
stop my son. I was about to
You promised to come to me, but every time on the panel it seems to be very unfair towards me. I don't know what should I do.
Both of them today are in the dock. It's not just the Aam Aadmi Party, also the BRS. Now, Khaliqur Rahman, what is K. Kavita saying? K. Kavita, when she's asked a specific question, does she know of an Arun Pillai? Does she have anything to do with Indo spirits? Why is she ducking all that and, you know, playing a victim card, playing the Telangana card, saying we will not cow down? If everything was so clean and clear, I mean, she would say that I'm coming to the Enforcement Directorate right away and I'll get my name cleared. What is she so scared of?
I think you have to put your words in the right perspective. She has never ducked any summon from ED. It is only that there was already a protest which was scheduled to be held in Delhi on 10th. And just prior to that, she has received the summons from the ED asking us to appear on 9th. So what she requested ED just to give an extra date for that. So the ED has now given the 11th, and she's going and meeting. And let me tell you, the BRS is not scared or afraid, nor is Kavita ji, from any kind of probe, investigation or inquiry, because there is no involvement of our leaders anywhere. And we are all sitting here in Hyderabad, and what we got to do
Does
with
she know, does she know someone called Arun Pillai? Is she associated with Indo Spirits?
No, she is not at all associated with the Indo Spirit. She has very clearly and categorically said that today. I don't know if you have been following her today. Okay. She has very categorically said.
No,
so she has got no.
She's ducked that question. As far as I saw the entire response, she's ducked that question. She's ducked that question. But I'll do one thing. I'll do one thing. It's important, I think, to listen to all sides, and because both the AAP and the BRS have spoken. Shehzad, now, is there any merit in the opposition when they come together and say that why are you only targeting the opposition? And Shehzad, does the BJP fear that this opposition could actually come together and this could become the fulcrum of opposition unity?
Can I make my opening statement for 20 seconds and then answer all your questions, or you want me to answer them first and then go to my opening statement?
Go on, please.
Mr. Manish Sisodia's letter has come. I have also got a letter. It's a letter from Arvind, who is in class 2B. He says, Manish चाचा, आप जेल गए तो पापा की शराब छूट गई, अब मम्मी को नहीं मारते हैं, आप जेल में ही रहिए. So Manish ji, this is a letter of your Shiksha Kranti. Actually, it was a Sharab Kranti. One pay, one free, and everywhere there was a taker. Now let me come to the issue. Arvind Kejriwal has tweeted कि कल मनीष छूट जाते. How does he know कि कल मनीष छूटने वाले थे? कोर्ट से कोई सेटिंग है क्या? So, this kind of statements should not be made. The fact is, Satyendra Jain is in jail for last 9 months. 3 courts have given orders against him. Mr. Manish Sisodia did not get relief from Supreme Court. Vijay Nair did not get relief from any court. He's in jail for 6 months. And these are all on the back of court orders. Let's assume for a moment that the ED, CBI is acting selectively. The courts would at least see, and if there's no evidence, they would have released them. Now, the allegation that they keep making is that this is only being done selectively. This has become a victimhood card. I want to show to them action taken not by one, not by two, but on several cases. They keep saying Himanta Biswa Sarma. Yesterday also I have shown that when Himanta Biswa Sarma joined the BJP, even after that the CBI action was taken on him. Mukul Roy, he joined the BJP, the CBI action was there on him. But
they
now
say
my
then
question
the action stops. That's what they say.
Well, if that is the case and they have proof against these leaders, they should approach a court and say that, look, despite tons of evidence, no action is being taken. Now let me answer one question one time. You can't interrupt me after I've while I'm speaking. I've heard you out. Now, my limited point is, let's assume that Mukul Roy is the most corrupt person against whom action had stopped. Why did Mamata Banerjee take him in the party? Please tell me this. Now, let's come to the other question that Mr. Trivedi was saying. What education revolution? Is it education revolution? You can't name 5 new colleges you have built, but yes, in every mohalla there were 2 thekas near the school, near the women's center, near the mandir, near the masjid, near the gurudwara. You increased the commission from 2.5% to 12%. You allowed wholesale to go into the hands of private sector, which was against the Dhawan committee report. You allowed the 6% commission to come back. You increased the operational period of licenses. None of these questions you answer. Your own RTI said 2,500 crore rupee loss was caused by the new policy, and you shifted from the new policy to the old policy. Is this not proof of corruption? But my limited question is that if you have all the proof of your innocence, submit it to a court of law. You can't say that because I am opposing BJP, I should be allowed to do license to do corruption. That cannot be given. And as far as opposition unity is concerned, look at the fact is that today the same people, there is Arvind Kejriwal's tweet on Lalu Prasad Yadav. He has called Lalu Prasad Yadav corrupt. Today, from India Against Corruption, he's gone into protection of corruption. From Anna Hazare to Lalu Prasad Yadav, life has come full circle.
Shehzad, today you're calling Mehbooba Mufti corrupt, and the BJP and the PDP were together in power. So I mean,
I'll answer this question.
Those are different questions.
No,
those are valid questions. But I think Mr. Trivedi quickly wants to counter you. Sujata, I'm then going to coming to you. But Mr. Trivedi, what would you say? Because just playing the victim card will not work anymore. You have to get into the specific charges that have been leveled by the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate.
by telling that what kind of education hub and what kind of education revolution, Shahzad Poonawalla himself, actually they are just blaming India for not doing anything or everything. He is just disgracing India in a way that okay, now there is no revolution or some, sir. All the foreign elements on all the foreign societies and everybody, or even in India, they praised Manish Sisodia sir's education policy, and you cannot say even BJP government also sent their ministers to Aam Aadmi Party's Delhi education system.
No, I want you to please tackle the elephant in the room. That is the excise policy.
Yes,
because what the BJP says is that if everything was fine, why did you go back? Why did you roll back the policy? See, you clearly haven't answered that question. Like Khalikur Rahman hasn't told us of what Arun Pillai has said and the 100 crore kickback allegation that has been made. But Sujata is a political observer to how the story is unfolding. Corruption is a major issue. We've seen that in the run-up to the 2014 elections, how miserably the Congress lost. But on the other side today, if you see an opposition that is galvanized, you're an opposition today that is ganging up together literally to say that we are being victimized, and they are asking how many BJP netas today have been in the net of the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI. Isn't that, Sujata, a valid question that the BJP will have to answer? Selectivism.
Deepti, I think all these cases, be it involving the BRS or the AAP or the Congress party, they're all running in the courts. And tell me one instance where court has quashed it, or even these parties have gone against the CBI ED for saying that these are false charges, or the central government, if at all there is an involvement, has apologized saying that, oh, there was false charges. None. These are old rhetorics.
But why is everyone complaining then, Sujata? There is a school of thought, Sujata, that says that is everyone lying. They say is the BJP the only party that today is fighting and it has zero tolerance for corruption as it claims.
Well, the fact of the matter is that even after being in power for almost now 10 years, going to be 10 years, none of the ministers are facing charges of corruption. And the fact of the matter is also that during the UPA's era, or before that, or even in the state, there is a series of corruption. But Deepti, I really want you to ask the AAP supporter here that is there a special course of theatrics and drama in AAP before joining or supporting is that the prerequisite criteria? Because any debate, Deepti, any press conference, any letter, any statement, they have simply dodged the specifics. Why are they not answering the to the point? Why are they not answering the 100 crore scam? Why is the BRS Kavita today dodged that 100 crore and her involvement with the South Group?
Because we are running out of time, I'll give the final word to Khalikur Rahman. I'll give the final 10 seconds to Khalikur Rahman, but also what Shehzad and Sujata haven't answered. What about netas like Narayan Rane? The BJP was really hammer and tongs after him till he got into the BJP and he's a union minister. What about, all those netas also? No, Shehzad, we've run out of time, but Khalikur Rahman, tell me something. When you will have K. Kavita facing the Enforcement Directorate, she will have to answer those questions. So what is the BRS's strategy now? You have a partner, perhaps in crime, allegedly, in the Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party is playing the victim card much like you, Khalikur Rahman.
Don't try to accuse that we don't have any partner. And
you were making thought on corruption. Do you remember that?
No. You allow me to say that. Allow me to speak. While you are speaking,
no, you just answer.
Okay, quickly, sir. 5 seconds. You need to wrap, please.
Does Kavita have
it is always the
or do anything with the Indo spirit or no? Does she know those people or no? Was there a South group involved or no? Was there a kickback given to them or no?
There is nothing called South Group. There is nothing called South Group. Let me tell you. It is only the creation of the BJP.
All right. That is, I think, now for the agencies to investigate. Only for want of time, Sujata and all gentlemen, I quickly need to thank you for your time, because on the other side, we are bringing up a big debate and a big interview also. And we are keeping our focus on this trouble that has traveled from Manish Sisodia to possibly to K. Kavita. What happens next on that story? What has K. Kavita said so far? Much more on that big story when we come back on the other side of this break.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट।
On the trending burning question at 8:30 p.m. tonight, Veer Naris fight for their right in Rajasthan, but is Vadra Congress blind to their fight? Who's betraying Pulwama martyrs? We'll try to understand. Join me 8:30 p.m.
K. Kavita summoned in liquor gate. Kavita says BJP pursuing vendetta politics. Can BJP take the higher moral ground? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Hello and welcome. You're watching our special broadcast. Our newsmaker tonight is a firebrand woman leader, K. Kavita, who's now taken the national capital by storm. The reason why I say that she's taken the national capital by storm is because she's openly dared the central government, making it very clear that she's willing to answer all questions. And more importantly, she's here for a particular cause. So what's her cause? Why exactly has she now been at the forefront of this entire fight? For more on this, thank you very much, Ms. Kavita, for joining us on Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, a firebrand leader, someone who is in the United States, come back to India, part of that entire movement of Telangana, your journey all through has been very remarkable. The very fact that you've defeated a two-time Congress parliamentarian and the fact that thereafter the fight has continued. Today in the national capital, you say that the fight is about the women's reservation bill. But I want to ask you this. Your bitter rival from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Arvind Dharmapuri, says KCR government didn't have a single woman in the cabinet from 2014 to 2018. So why bring the women reservation bill as the first cause of coming to the national capital and fighting for it? What is the reason behind it?
Bharat Jagrat is an organization which was constantly working with the people of Telangana, for the people of Telangana for a long time now. And now we believe that we can expand across the nation and work for various good causes. One of the important causes being women reservation bill, because we've seen many nations which have given reservations to women in political platforms and national parliaments have made tremendous strides in terms of overall development of the nation. So now the point being, since the time I was in parliament, every Women's Day we would get an opportunity to speak, and every time inside and outside the parliament, wherever I got the chance, I've constantly raised the issue of women's reservation bill. Why? I'll tell you. Because in this country from 1996, the issue has actually started, the discussion has started. From then till 2014, every Prime Minister had made an effort to bring the bill, at least draft the bill, put a committee, do something, bring the bill. It did get passed or it did not get passed, did not matter. Every Prime Minister had made an effort. And Honorable Sonia Gandhi ji made a much better effort in 2010. It passed in Rajya Sabha. But then from 2014 till date, in the last 9 years, it's Mr. Modi who did not even make an effort to even draft the bill. So our contention today is not to name only one particular Prime Minister, but the opportunity is humongous. There's a historical opportunity with the Bharatiya Janata Party today because they enjoy a great mandate. Now when you have such a mandate, you can push for bills like these. And I earnestly request Mr. Prime Minister and also Madam President today that please bring the bill. There is every political party which is willing to support, and if any political party has any kind of a dissent or misunderstanding or objections, that can be discussed, and a dialogue can solve anything in the world. But an effort from the government has to be made, since they promised it twice in their manifesto, both in 2014 and also in 2019. I request the Honorable Prime Minister to bring the bill.
Ms. Kavita, wouldn't it be far more appropriate, or perhaps strengthening your own position, when you're demanding for the implementation of the women's reservation bill, had it also happened in the state of Telangana? Because the reason why I'm asking you, the Bharatiya Janata Party can tomorrow come up and say that Pushkar Singh Dhami's government has been able to do so. If you want to take up this cause, why not start from Telangana? And that gives you the boost to take on the fight.
Exactly. I've never ever said that BRS is a different party. Like BRS, in this country, our culture is heavily patriarchal, and no system will change overnight without a law. And BRS is no exemption to that. Including Bharatiya Janata Party, today in the parliament has not given more than 12% seats to their women MPs. If you look at Bharatiya Janata Party MPs, if you look at Congress Party, any party, No exemption. This is just a common issue for women, not political issue. So all I am requesting the government is, when you have the mandate like of 303 people with you, MPs with you, you can push any kind of bill. Right. You pushed Aadhaar, you pushed Article 370, you pushed citizenship bill. So you pushed many bills like that. You pushed 131, I think, money bills this government has pushed without discussion. So you can easily get the women reservation bill passed with the kind of majority that you have, and I request the government to table the bill.
Of course, the entire demand that the opposition parties are making right now, keeping in mind the Bharatiya Janata Party also mentioned in their own manifesto. Yes. But can we get some sort of an assurance from you, Ms. Kavita, that perhaps back in your state, you're also going to do that? Because you've been very successful in bringing in a lot of cultural activities, which you said, traditions which were forgotten in the state of Telangana, you've revived them. You've been at the forefront. So can there be some sort of an assurance from your side as far as your party is concerned? You will do it in Telangana? Is there some sort of an assurance?
My party has passed a resolution in the assembly, not now, in between 2014 and 19, I think it is in 2016. They've passed a resolution in the assembly saying whenever a women reservation bill is tabled in the parliament, BRS will stand by the government. That is our commitment to the women. So we will do it, and I'm saying Modi ji had promised not incremental growth, mind you, has promised exponential growth. And if we have to make some decent change in terms of the women representation in this country, I'll just share one number with you. 1947 or 1952 in the first parliament, we had 24 women MPs. Today we have 78. So if we are taking at least 75 years to come to the number 78, we are going to take 2063 to come to 180. Whereas within 2 days, if Honorable Modi ji wants it, he can pass the bill and there will be 180 women MPs, doesn't matter whichever party, in the parliament in 2024. That is the strength today BJP has, and they should utilize it for the greater good of the women. That is my sincere appeal.
Focusing about the future of your party, 21 years after it was founded, now you've taken the national foray. The BRS has come into the picture. Many would say that, is it a little short-sighted, keeping in mind that you're basically coming out of Telangana? You're looking at stitching an alliance, and which becomes far more difficult. We've seen in multiple states there isn't any coordination between the opposition parties. So how exactly are you really looking at? Because in Khammam, this entire opposition strength, the unity that was essentially being displayed was minus the Congress party. And as I see, your words about the Congress party has also been quite, you've been very harsh on them, on the Congress party. The Vadra Congress says, you said, Congress should be fighting shoulder to shoulder with the regional parties. They should leave their arrogance, become a team player. Do you think that the Congress party will actually be able to cede that space and become a part of it? And because they're saying, without us, there can't be any opposition alliance.
Let me tell you about BRS and what BRS wants. When TRS became BRS, our only agenda is to give a people's agenda to the nation. Why do I say that? When we took up the fight of Telangana, we stuck to the fight. It took us 15 years to achieve the state, but we never went back. We've had many setbacks back and forth. We've never went back. That was our commitment to people of Telangana. Once we achieved the state, in the last 9 years, we've made tremendous development happen in the state. We are today number one in every indicator that you take at the national level. It could be rice production, it could be health indicators, it could be education indicators, it could be cleanliness, it could be municipalities, it could be irrigation facilities, it could be education. Anything you take, we are either number one or two. And one or two areas in which central government gives awards, from 1 to 10 was Telangana. So that is the kind of development we have done.
But
give me one more minute. So this is the kind of wealth we created in Telangana. When we started as a state, 2014, we had only 60,000 crores budget. Today our budget is 2,90,000 crores, and we are not a deficit state. Our fiscal deficit is in control, our debt is in control, and we are progressing and we are creating jobs by day. Today, within 9 years, 20,000 industrial units have started, operated, and given 30 lakh jobs to the youth of Telangana. So our BRS, when we came to the national level, our agenda was simple. Whatever we've done in Telangana, we want to do it for the nation. Now with that agenda we've come. I know it is not a one-day job, it is not a one-night job, it is not even probably one generation job, but we will keep at it, we will work for it. While doing that, our goal right now for 2024 is to dislodge the current Bharatiya Janata Party government at the center. Right? For that goal, whoever has a similar line of thinking, we will work with them. We will absolutely make an effort, and which we have been consistently making starting from 2019 election. We are making efforts. If you remember, Honorable KCR Garu had gone to meet Mamta Di, then he has gone to meet Uddhav Thackeray ji, Sharad Pawar ji. Every single politician in this country, Honorable KCR Garu has approached to make sure there is an understanding. And after that, I really welcome, Mamta Di did her own meetings. Naveen Patnaik, Nitish ji did his own meetings, Stalin ji did his own meetings. We welcome these moves. We want more and more opposition parties to come together, discuss, debate. And as you're saying, Congress has to now, they have to introspect. It is not for me to speak for Congress.
But unless you bring them on the table, at least on the talking table, because wherever they are going, they're essentially, be it even in the northeastern states when the elections were actually happening, we have seen in one state, in Tripura, there's an alliance. In Kerala, there is a... How does that really work? Because one needs to understand, your own electorate back in the state of Telangana are voting because of the development model that you are projecting. Yes. Or for that matter, even KCR being the face of your party, people are voting for that. People are voting for KCR there. But what happens in the national picture? Whom are we really going to vote? Because the country knows that there is a Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the one side. Why is it so very difficult for the opposition parties to come together, even for tomorrow? As I understand, you're bringing in 18 parties. Will the Congress party now come in? Because the Congress party, again and again, they're reiterating. Rahul Gandhi makes it abundantly clear that there will be no alliance. There can be no alliance minus the Congress party. If that's the position, how will you all negotiate?
See, but Shravanji, the discussion is not so unilateral, is it? See, it is not just ki Modi versus everybody. No, it's not like that. Narendra Modi ji is one among the MPs and he's first among the MPs. Simple as that. Simply put, that is the case. So tomorrow when 543 seats are to be fought across the nation, there are multiple parties, and in Telangana, what is the strength of BRS? In Tamil Nadu, what is the strength of DMK? In Maharashtra, what is the strength of Shiv Sena, NCP? All that will matter, and that is why repeatedly all these regional political leaders or strong leaders across different states are meeting constantly to arrive at an understanding. If Congress has a role in some state, probably we will consult them, or probably we won't.
So you're open to the idea of talking to
No,
to
I'm just saying,
party.
in a state like Bengal, they have one MLA seat.
Right.
Now what will you strike a deal there? All I'm trying to tell you is, Congress, the burden is not just on everybody else. The burden heavily is on Congress also.
Party.
They should come to an understanding. They should realize what they want. And they should devise a strategy as well of their own, which BRS is doing. BRS wants to work
will the BRS
pan-nation.
But will the BRS make that attempt of reaching out to the Congress party for a pan-India alliance? Will that happen at some point?
As of now, we are trying very hard, one, to expand BRS wherever it is possible. Two, to work with our alliance partners, like-minded people, to make new friends, to consolidate old friendships. We are working on that. When it comes to a position where we need to talk to Congress, or where Congress wants to talk to us, we will think about it. We will cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay, let's also focus a little bit about issues that the Bharatiya Janata Party has been alleging as far as the role of the BRS is concerned. But to begin with this, what is happening in the state of Karnataka right now? There is an MLA's son who is caught red-handed. The Lokayukt starts an investigation. The MLA disappears for a very long time, suddenly reappears. The opposition party is now directly attacking the Bharatiya Janata Party, saying that you can't do anything, the ED does not go, the CBI does not go, but you are going to send an ED after Manish Sisodia, an ED after K. Kavita. I want to ask you, The Bharatiya Janata Party is making it very clear that, look, it's our own government, but we are starting our own investigation. We are doing it. What moral ground can K. Kavita or Manish Sisodia take? That's the position that they are taking. What do you have to say about that?
I'll give you a direct comparison. Karnataka, an MLA's son or MLA is caught with 8 crores. They want to do an investigation with Lokayukta. Now in Telangana, we red-handedly caught agents of Bharatiya Janata Party trying to purchase our MLAs, who claimed that Mr. B.L. Santosh is in charge of this entire operation, and they have put aside 2 lakh crores of cash to buy the MLAs. It was all on record, it was caught on tape, it is all across YouTube for you to watch anytime. And when we created our own SIT, Mr. Santosh does not appear. B.L. Santosh says, I am going to the court, I don't want to come. And CBI comes over, takes over the entire investigation and says, states cannot do it, we will do it. Now in Karnataka, if Lokayukta can do it, why in Telangana SIT cannot do it? All I'm saying is, Bharatiya Janata Party, because they have power in the central government as well, they are utilizing the central agencies to take over the rights of the states and to shield their own people. They are shielding B.L. Santosh today, they are shielding Mr. MLA in Karnataka who's caught with money. And if ED is not on vacation, and if ED is not biased only towards targeting the opposition, they should immediately book a case on Mr. MLA who's caught with the money.
You also, that you, when you are in power, you are also using state agencies targeting the opposition party there. Bandi Sanjay makes that kind of allegation against you, that how can you take a high moral ground by saying that central agencies are being misused because you are creating an SIT after B.L. Santosh. Then you have, if I'm not wrong, a BJP legislator T. Raja against whom there are cases that have been registered, Bandi Sanjay being one of them. In fact, Bandi Sanjay's son's issue was also, they say that the BRS was basically behind it. So the question here is the same. If you look at what is happening in the state of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee also faces the same allegation that you are in power, you do exactly the same. BJP saying that they do the same thing in various other states. So how are you any better than the... I'm not saying that. I'm saying BJP says that. I'm not saying, but would you not? It is the same argument that will it not be? Will it not be the same thing?
Let me tell you something here. The way Mr. Bandi Sanjay speaks, if you listen to the speech, if you understand Telugu, not once, for every speech of his, he should have 10 cases on him. But we do not bother because we face them politically. And as a policy, I do not talk about children of the leaders. I'm not going to talk about Mr. Bandi Sanjay's son. There are kids, they fought in the college, I don't care, I don't mind. If it is a serious crime, let the agencies probe, I'm not worried, we are not going there. But the way Mr. Raja Singh gave a speech, a provocative speech, brought thousands of people on roads, and we as a state had to control the situation. We did that point of time. Unless and until it is a law and order issue, Telangana government never acted. If you can look at some of the YouTube Telugu channels, the kind of slander in the name of journalism that they pour out on our entire party, we just put up with them because we know, we are confident, we work for the people, we are with the people and people are with us. That's our confidence. If that confidence Bharatiya Janata Party today has, then they should stop this ED extension procedure. They should stop extending Mr. Sanjay Mishra's tenure forever and ever and ever.
But
they should stop extended. Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
The court is allowing that. If the government has done it, so as the court has allowed it. So if that is still being challenged, the hearings are still underway.
Exactly.
So why not wait for the court to take a final call on as far as the extension of the ED?
Let me finish the statement. One is Mr. Sanjay Mishra ED, his extension is constantly there, and he openly claims that I'm not working for Government of India, I'm working for BJP. Multiple times, multiple people have heard him say that is what I say. I have never met the gentleman. But when SBI chairman's extension happens, he will come out and say, Adani ji ka koi problem nahi hai, SBI se hum loan de denge, hamara loan safe hai. LIC person gets an extension, he'll come out and say LIC mein kisi ka नुकसान नहीं हो रहा है, whereas 50,000 crores LIC lost in a single day. That's people's money. And if you are giving extension for people who are shielding your friends, who are shielding your political allies, who are shielding your own MLAs, that is not fair. We want a just investigation. We want the agencies to be independent. We want LIC to be independent. We want SBI to be independent because public money and public interest is involved in it. That is my contention.
Ms. Kavita, I saw your press conference earlier in the day, and I would say that if you've taken the bull by the horn, so let me this part that I want to focus on right now. Let's keep the political rhetoric aside, because I think the public deserves to know. You're a public representative. There are serious allegations that have been leveled. Let's make the attempt of giving a very direct answer rather than really looking to the political rhetoric. You say that these material, as far as the excise policy or the allegations that have been leveled against you, have been leaked by the agency through the remand copies. I'm not going by that. I'm telling you up front, the questions that I'm asking is based on the supplementary charge sheet that has been filed, which is available to the entire public, not a select media. Now, in the charge sheet, there are some very specifics that I would like to go on to. On 8th of April 2022, they say in the charge sheet, K. Kavita and Arun Pillai met Vijay Nair and Dinesh Arora at Oberoi Maidens, discuss recoupment of the kickbacks paid by the South Group. A direct question. Do you know Arun Ramachandra Pillai? Because I see there are two pictures that have been doing the rounds, and you are seen in that picture, and along with Arun Ramachandra Pillai and Abhishek Boinpalli. Both of them happen to be accused in that case. You are not an accused, but you are seen in that picture. So first I want to understand, do you know Mr. Pillai and Mr. Boinpalli?
See, first I want to tell you one thing. Overall, when this entire case started, there was a government declared tender floated by Delhi government.
Right.
Few people from Hyderabad came and participated in the tender. They won, they lost, what happened I don't know. Who all came I don't know. If few of them I know, I might have known. Not a big deal. Point here is, how are these few people that I know have been treated by ED? There is a gentleman who's filed a writ petition in Hyderabad saying that he's beaten up and he can't hear anymore. There's a writ petition pending. ED has beaten him up so bad. There is a writ petition by another. Same case. Okay. There is another gentleman who's filed a writ petition in Telangana High Court saying that morning to evening they only ask me and pressurize me to give only two political leaders' name, either K. Kavita or Manish Sisodia. He's been arrested now. He's inside the jail. He's filed a writ petition. So this is the kind of operation that is done by ET. I will really not want to go into details because it will again attract a lot of cases and a lot of legal issues will come to both you and me. Point here is there are ED excesses today, there are IT excesses today, there are CBI excesses today happening in this country on the behest of a political party in power, which is a matter of fact, which everybody knows. My point here is, do not do that. Do not use them as your, extension of your party. Not because of me personally being targeted. Today, I am being targeted. Tomorrow, regular people will be targeted. And it is not guaranteed that BJP will stay in power forever. You are leaving a bad precedent. So whoever will come after you will continue the same thing. And it is not good for our country. This is absolutely bad. And the Section 50, under which ED gets a lot of power, and where the proof of burden is on the person accused. If you are alleging that you have paid me bribe, I am supposed to prove that I have not taken any bribe. That is not fair. You cannot go against a system. I really, through Republic, requesting the Honorable Supreme Court to immediately listen to the PMLA Section 50 matter and please remove the proof of burden from the victims. It is an earnest appeal to the Supreme Court.
When your name came up for the first time, you were very aggressive. You said you were going to file cases against Sirsa, the BJP leader, as well as Parvesh Verma. You said that these were baseless allegations. We don't see that same aggression now. Why exactly? In the sense, let me just elaborate a little bit, because as far as Abhishek Boinpalli, Mr. Pillai are concerned, their connections with Hyderabad, that's a different matter altogether, and writ petition that you're talking about. What about another accused who goes by the name of Samir Mahindru? Because Samir Mahindru, in his statement to the enforcement directorate, says that Road number 14 in Banjara Hills, there was a meeting that happened at your residence where Abhishek Boinpalli, Sharad Reddy and several others were present in that particular way. That is what he said. In fact, they also go on to say there were FaceTime calls that were made. We don't know. Let the court decide, let the enforcement director decide, and you decide. It's my job is to ask you this question, and I think everyone would like to know. Was there any sort of meeting that took place, and why is it so difficult, Ms. Kavita, to come out in the open and say that, look, these are all, there was no meeting. You are saying, it does appear, let me, pardon if I'm saying that, a little beating around the bush, a little political rhetoric allowed. Let's have a very direct conversation about, was there any meeting or there was no meeting?
First of all, you are not ED. Second of all, you should understand that any trial like this held in public with half knowledge in 2-minute interview cannot be explained. Okay. So ED wants to ask me these questions, I'll certainly answer. Point 2, I had filed defamation suits on people who were constantly raising issues which I did not have anything to do with. So court gave an order saying that you should not speak about me, since they have stopped talking about me. Point 2, if the larger victim is constantly being the opposition party, and I meet 200 people in my home every single day. I met you now. If you go outside and do something, please don't do anything wrong. But if you go outside and do anything which is not in legal framework, and if system wants to hold me responsible, then that is not fair.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for The Debate.
Debate at 9, presented by Amity University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Century Ply and Panasonic.
Well, hello and welcome. I am Ishwara Kapoor and you're watching The Debate. Yes, Arnab Goswami is not here today, but don't worry. He's going to be back really soon. But we have a packed house. And these are the debates tonight. Debate number 1. Kavita summoned in Liquorgate. Manish Sisodiya is now arrested by the ED. And the BJP is hit by corruption charges of its own. So who is misusing the agencies and how? That's debate number 1 tonight. Debate number 2. Pulwama martyrs betrayed. Protest by Veer Naris enters day 10. Why is the Vadra Congress silent? That's debate number 2, viewers. And debate number 3. Yes, there's a third debate tonight. US intel report says India more likely to use military force in face of Pakistan's provocation. Will Pakistan get this message? It's as clear as that, and that's debate number 3 tonight. But first, the headlines. Aam Aadmi Party's senior leader Manish Sisodiya now arrested by the ED after CBI, and all this happened in Tihar. Yes, that's how it happened today.
Bharatiya Janata Party, because they have power in the central government as well, they are utilizing the central agencies to take over the rights of the states and to shield their own people.
2 days before her ED summons, BRS senior leader K. Kavita speaks to Republic.
Morning to evening, they only ask me and pressurize me to give only 2 political leaders' name, either K. Kavita or Manish Sisodiya. He's been arrested now, he's inside the jail, he's filed a writ petition. So this is the kind of operation.
Explosive interview on Republic as K. Kavita goes after agencies in her response. BJP Bribegate MLA is brazen silent on his whereabouts, even as his son is arrested over kickbacks. Embarrassment for BJP there. Another big controversy in Karnataka as BJP MP is seen moral policing and asking woman trader to wear a bindi. Shameful scenes unfold in Rajasthan as wives of Pulwama martyrs are made to force to plead for honor. And ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with the debate. The Aam Aadmi Party has been openly saying, after their second leader and number 2 in their party and was number 2 in the government, Manish Sisodiya, was arrested